Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, Keeping Up with Chrissy. So today I am going to do a life update because I've kind of been MIA on the internet for the last 2 weeks, even though I came back and I came back with my usual foolishness. But oh yeah, and before I start, I need to shout out my lash tech, Body Lash House on the lashes. She's located at 42 Half a Tree Road, and Creative Nails by Jay on the nails. She's located near close to Studio One Boulevard. I'd probably have to do like a location video and another video because I'm not really good with direction. But yeah, I've been contemplating doing this video because it's kind of sensitive, and but I'm gonna just jump right into it. So for my day ones, or the people that have watched my very first YouTube video, or if you've been following me on Instagram or social media for some time, you would have known that I lost my mother 10 years ago. This year makes 10 years. So she died in 2015 while I was attending Arden, while I was doing taxis. And well, that hence the tattoo. But my mother's birthday is June 18th. I've never mentioned that before. And my mom passed on my father's birthday, which is May 25th. And my dad, my dad passed last year from prostate cancer on March 7th. My birthday is February 24th. So, yeah. So it never have nothing to do with the the J interview or any of that, because if you know me, you know that I really don't care. The only thing that bothers me in life is the fact that, well, before my dad passed, it was that my mother wasn't here, and then I recently lost my dad. So I went MIA on June 19th, the day after my mom's birthday, because I was dealing with a lot emotionally, and I I have to deal with a lot of people. Lots of people blowing on my phone. I have to run my businesses. And also around that time, I found out that an employee was stealing money. That I'll discuss in another video. So I was dealing with a lot, and I've been battling with my mental health for close to 5 years now. It kind of started in 2021, which I think was when I had my first public outburst when I ended my long-term relationship that I've spoken on before, and it was it was an abusive relationship. And yeah, I literally had to run for my life. And when I did that outburst on Instagram, I really did not see any other way, because he isolated me from my family. That's one. So they didn't know what I was going through until when I had that public outburst, and then my father and everybody came back into my life. And then that was 2021, and then I lost my father last year, 2024. But yeah, I'm not doing this to look for sympathy or anything like that, because if you know me, you know my love laugh. And I kind of fight back the tears because I tell myself something now about on camera again. But yeah, so I was dealing with a lot, and I decided to take my mental health into my own hands, and I went to the hospital on my own. And yeah, so I was admitted to the University Hospital at the West Indies for the last 2 weeks. I was there from June 19th until July 4th. So I was on the infamous Y21, and for especially in everything that's been going on in the entertainment climate right now, I'm not going to say much, but it wasn't bad. My stay there was not bad. I spent 2 weeks there. Shout out to my doctors, Dr. Grant and Dr. Johnson. So yeah, I was there for 2 weeks. I needed the break. I didn't have my phone. I my family couldn't visit me. Well, most of my family lives abroad anyway, but I have a sister here and she wasn't allowed to visit me for personal reasons that I might discuss in another video. The only person that knew where I was my best friend. Not even my man never knows about me there because we had a big argument like the day before, which was my mom's birthday, June 18th. We had a big argument. I'm gonna tell him something done, I'm gonna left him and blah 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 blah. And then he didn't know where I was. Him just did things say like I'm not talk to him, I'm gonna ghost or whatever. And shout out to you, sir, because he reached out to everybody that he could to make sure I was okay. And yeah, he found out where I was thanks to my solid group of friends, my ride or dies. I don't know myself, I'm not call them a name. But yeah. So I went there on my own and it was a good experience because, well, one, I've been diagnosed since about 2022. My diagnosis is bipolar 2, which literally means that I have mood swings, but my biggest thing is anger. When I get angry, I get really angry. So before I do not know where I will get me in a trouble because I have a lot to lose, my businesses, my reputation, all that. I prefer to just chill. So I've been on mood stabilizers for a while. And when I checked myself into the hospital, I was still on my mood stabilizers. So I did it because I understand that I have something that I have to work through, which medication not really fix it anyways because I am hurting. And anybody that's lost a parent or your parents, you understand what I'm talking about, especially if your parents were good parents, because my parents were good parents. So yeah, and it's a gap that no man, no money, no nothing can fill. So I recognize that I had an issue because I have a therapist and I have a I have a whole team for my mental health. It's that serious. So I've made peace with my mother's death because this year makes 10 years. And my mother was a Christian when she died because I grew up in church. So I've made peace with that. And I always tell people I'm not lucky, I'm blessed because I had my guidance angel looking over me in my mom, and then last year I gained another one. So yeah, I'm extremely blessed, hence the tattoo. But since my father's death last year, if you follow me closely, you kind of notice that I've been going through it. Like I spiraled, and then I got it back under control, but every time I accomplish something new or something great, it reminds me that my parents aren't here because even though they're not here in the physical realm, they're still who I do it for. Because if you know, I don't have any kids, I only have my dog, and yeah, and I'm the youngest of all my siblings. I'm literally the baby, so I would say the least amount of time with my parents. So yeah, and I was a daddy's girl. I was close to my mommy too because my mother had me when she was young, but my father was older because, you know, my mother married an older man. I don't know that go. If you don't know, I don't know. We're not gonna get into that. But yeah, so I really don't know where I'm going with this life update because I go a lot of insights into my life, which is not something that I would typically do because my content is normally just ignore that there's construction going on. My content is normally fun, raw, whatever. But my daddy wasn't a Christian at the time of his death. Me get the rawness and the raunchiness and the rebelness from my father. So I am my father's daughter, and construction is going on. So yeah. So there, that's where I've been for the last 2 weeks. So if you couldn't get to me or whatever, no, I didn't owe you an explanation because, as I said, I have a man, and if you're not my man, I'm my best friend, and my family members that were supposed to know knew where I was. And I say that to say that mental health is really important, and it needs more light needs to be shed on it because I don't think a lot of people have been the same since COVID. And when I was admitted to Y21, it was mostly young people and it was mostly men. I think at my during my stay it was probably about 5 women, including I made a friend in there, which who you guys should know, Lisa Hype or Lisa Hyper. She's going to be doing a video on the channel as well where we will dive more into our stay and mental health awareness and all that. But for right now, I'm giving you guys a life update. And because I was battling all of that, including like because if you know me or if I've been your boss before, I try to be a good boss because I started out working in a store before I owned a store, and people don't talk about this enough. But your family and friends or your man aren't the only people that can betray you. I felt betrayed because a lot of them like stole, and I normally brush it off or whatever. But this time, my family intervened and said that's not happening this time. So there's that. And in regards to my boutique, I will not be closing it, but it will be closed for probably another week or so or less because we're revamping, rebranding, and coming back fresh. But I went back to the drawing board on how to run my business without it interfering with my personal life or my mental health because running multiple businesses at my age is stressful. I am 27 years old. I have 3 businesses plus I do social media, YouTube. I'm brand ambassadors for a lot of people. It's a lot. And I plan to get married and conceive in the near future because I talk about this all the time. My parents were married, so I'm not really nobody not gonna pick me out of me without a ring on my finger. Say whatever no one say. But that's that. And I also want to give a personal shout out to my man again because he knew everything I was going through, and I've been in past relationships before where when I open up to them about like how I'm hurt because I'm broken because of my parents and everything like that, like them kind of judge me or whatever. But he has been my safe space throughout all of this, even though I tell us what have the big dirty argument before, but whatever, we're past that. So yeah, so that's been a bit of what I'm dealing with. Also, for my skincare line, KB Lux Beauty, will be fully restocked when my boutique, MPPC's boutique, reopens, and we'll be at our same location, Shop 1312 A Lines Road in Half a Tree. I am currently working on my websites. Well, I launched my websites and I closed them for reasons that I'll probably disclose in another video. But I'll also be working on relaunching my websites for my US and international customers for MPPC's Boutique and KB Lux Beauty. And yeah, what else we need to update them on? But yeah, that's where I've been. And I have a lot of interesting collabs coming on this channel, so stay tuned. I After I'm finished shooting this video, I have to go shoot another video with Jay. So that's coming. And oh, my apartment, because people feel like because I was selling out my stuff, I was migrating or something. No. So when I got that apartment, I was initially supposed to be buying. And because of the situation with my ex, my abusive ex, I needed to find somewhere to go ASAP. And I found that apartment and I was in a lease with a very unprofessional landlord, and I was the first tenant and his first tenant. And let's just say he was a terrible landlord, and they rented me the place under false pretenses because that apartment complex has a lot of plumbing issues that can be fixed because it's how the apartment complex was built. They have cesspool issues, a number of issues that I'll probably have to touch on in another video. But yeah, that's the reason I was leaving, and everything was custom made for that apartment. So I just decided to sell them because it's furniture, and I buy my stuff cash, so I can just resell them if I want to. So there's that. I still have, I think, my sectional sorry, and a dining table and a few stuff left that I'm going to post for sale. And I'll take you guys on my journey to like decorating my new apartment when I am ready, because I felt like a lot of people knew what inside my apartment looked like, and that also made me uncomfortable. So I decided to just new. This is like a new chapter, new man, new apartment, new life, new business structure. Um, I also got closer to God while I was in the hospital because of because before I ended up there too, I had a near death experience couple days before, and that reminded me that we're all just flesh. And yeah, I drew closer to God again because, as I said, I grew up in church. I was a little church girl, but my father was a policeman. I said that's not next video as well. Like, them say pastor man pick me and policeman pick me bad, but I'm not gonna get into that. I'm not gonna get into that. But just know that I walk with my head held high because my parents knew who I was, and I've always been this way since I was little. Not no change. I still talk anything off my mouth because that's how I've always been. And the negative comments when I leave when I probably feel like that's supposed to bother me, but it really don't. Because social media, all of this something this is just a big money making thing for me. If you're on social media and you're not making any money from it, then you're a consumer. So you're wasting time on social media. I, on the other hand, me monetize every single social media platform. So every post have to make sense. And yeah, so a lot of times when the things say, oh, the negative, it really can't nothing to me. Because when I go to therapy, I'm not talking about no man. I'm not talking about no social media comments. I'm talking about the hurt that will never be mended because of the loss of my parents. So yeah, I guess that's the life update. When I'm settled and everything, you guys will get the regular content. Well, we're not gonna get the regular content because I also started charging a membership for my Instagram close friends, and that is where I post in real time and talk about like what's currently happening in my life. That's where I'm gonna get the free content that is not paid or sponsored, so to speak. And my close friends membership is $20 US per month. You can go on my Instagram, Chrissy1, KRYSSII1, and click the link in my bio to join my close friends to see the real me. Because moving forward, all my Instagram, TikTok, all that content, well, honestly, if you don't have sense, you'll notice that by now, it's monetized. So people pay me for promo. If you see me I use an artist song, I probably pay me for promo too. So yeah. And what else? How long now we gone? 80 minutes? Okay, that's not bad. So, yeah, I think. Oh, and another thing, I am no longer under the management of Visibility Inc. for our promotional collaborations, interviews, whatever it is. I'll probably try to add it, but it is Crystal Braithwaite MVP at gmail.com. So CrystalBraithwaite at gmail.com. So if you want to discuss business, that's where you can reach me, because my Instagram is also being managed by a page manager, and the only people that get a personal response from me are the people in my close friends. So you can go ahead and get your membership for my Instagram close friends. And another thing, I will be resuming like going live and all of that once my life is settled, because it kind of feels chaotic right now because there's a lot of change going on, but it's positive change. I'm new apartment, um new business venture that I'm going to announce soon. It's a lot, and I'm only one person, and there's still a lot of pressure on me to maintain my image as a hot girl or whatever. So I still have to go gym, I still have to eat right, I still have to, it's a lot, right? And that's why when the little baby warrior them come tumble and come back, I proudly can tell them say I am not ready for a child, because I cannot see where a child would fit into my busy life. Because I live an extremely busy life. For sometimes I have to wake up from 5, 6 o'clock. I'm gonna get to go sleep also on bad hours and night if I get to go sleep none at all. Because On top of the fact that I have one of the most popular boutiques in Kingston, I'm gonna say that with my back broad because it is true. I also have a natural skincare line that I hand make everything myself. So when I see my stock of products and I all have 1,000, I'm the one that have to stand up and make them. And yeah, I get help, but I have to make them. So when you see me with my things them too, I don't want to not bad mind me. Because I'm not pokey or not pum pum, me use and get them on my brain. I work harder than enough of them boy. Yeah. That's why when I see them I can laugh off of them. Because yeah, nowadays though, I feel like the women are the new men and the man them are the new woman because to all them look a boy a body to get wet when them ears say you have money or a man have money. Yeah. And that's why enough of uno, you know what? I'm gonna leave it to candy for class, you know. But that's why enough of uno go the other way. But I work very hard for my stuff and I am proud of that because I got that entrepreneurial spirit from my mother and my father too. But yeah, it's just a life update. And you guys can make suggestions on the type of content that you'd like to see. But the thing is, the reason why my channel is called Keeping Up with Chrissy, it's because you're keeping up with my crazy chaotic life and me just do whatever my mind tell me to do on any given day. So I feel like get up and tell no story time. I can't tell no story time. I feel like for telling about my when my head chip and my madness and everything, like the video I plan to do with Lisa, I can't do that. If my plan to go sit down and chat all sorts of stuff with Jay, I can't do that because I'm not putting myself in a box because that's also how I live my life. And that's how because I'm outside of the fact when I the situation with my parents, which as me telling you, I just over time it will get better because this year makes 10 years for my mother and I've made peace with that. So probably the next 10 years or so I'll make peace with my daddy as well. But I live a pretty happy life outside of that. I have a good group of friends. I love my dog. I love my sisters. I love my siblings. I love my aunts, my uncles. I live a happy life. So not because of video I have a little, a little set up business. I don't feel like saying no, girl not go, bad girl not go outside. Me just a update, And there's a lot more in store to come. A lot more. And I want you guys to stay tuned. Continue following me on this journey. Continue following me on this journey and continue keeping up with Chrissy. Anything you'd like me to do a video on that I didn't touch on this, I probably would have to do a video with telling you why I parted ways with my manager because that's another interesting story. And yeah, so anything I want to know, I'll not. I'll have to do another video on it because I have to wrap this up now because as I said, I have about 2 or 3 more videos to shoot for today. And I have to go get my makeup done and I still in the process of doing everything else I'm doing. So remember to tell a friend about your favorite YouTube channel, Keeping Up with Chrissy. And don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share. I'll see you in the next YouTube video. Bye.